Hello, Nieves.
Hello, Miss Letty. How are you? This
Fine.
raining day.
Right on this horrible rainy day, no? So, what are we going to talk about today, Nieves? Can you see?
Yeah, it's the most common crime.
Right. So, we're going to continue with our topic for this week, which is crime. Right. And also, we would like to remind everyone, if anyone likes these videos, to click on like. Also, if they would love to subscribe even better, so they can be with us and follow what we do every week. So I thought we would start with this, Nieves. Would you like to read it?
Yeah, no problem. All of them?
Yes, off you go.
Okay. The most common crime in Britain, homicide. When one person kills another. Murder. When there is knowledge and intention to do evil. Manslaughter. There is no premeditation to kill another. Robbery. Using violence. Sexual offences. Burglary. Entering a property. Domestic abuse. Crime against society. Theft. Taking something no force. And computer misuse.
So
Misuse.
I looked at it on the internet, and these were the 5 common crimes in Britain. And each country will be different. So as we can see, homicide, murder can be put in different categories. And of course, the lawyers and the judges decide which one it is, if it's premeditated or not. And that depends on the level of the sentence they will receive. As we said before, robbery, theft, pickpocketing, etc. They're all very similar, so you may need to look them up on the internet to get exactly what is the difference so that you will use them more precisely. And domestic abuse is a very sad thing when men attack women. And then we have computer misuse. So I suppose this would reflect with hackers, which I'm not very well knowledgeable about. So today we are going to answer a few questions about crime. So if you would like to say the first one.
Yeah, is crime a problem where you live? Well, to be honest, if we compare Ceuta with another cities in Spain, I don't think the crime is a really big problem here. Sometimes, robbery maybe, murder maybe, but no homicide or murder. We have maybe a 2, 3 cases of domestic abuse here that sadly finish in a crime and a murder, to be honest. But no, it's really like something bad happen every day here in Ceuta.
I get the impression that we don't realize everything that happens here. We live in our little bubble, no? And
Yeah,
if it doesn't
probably.
affect our neighborhood or us personally, we don't really know what happens. If you read the newspaper, maybe. So we hear about very few crimes. And like you said, it could be the one of when a man attacks a woman. I forgot the word now. Domestic, domestic,
Domestic abuse.
domestic abuse. We hear about that now and again. Uh, and murder, not very often either.
No.
And maybe now and again a theft or a burglary when someone does it, and then we're all on alert and we're more careful. But that happens very few times, once in a blue moon, or there's a moment when it happens and then this person is caught. And maybe because we can't escape from here so easily, you need to catch the boat. So you might think twice before committing a crime. No, I
Yeah.
don't know. Right, let's see what's the next one. Should police in your country be stricter or less strict? Well, I think they have a very hard job personally, because from what I can understand, they are not helped by the law, in the sense that when I talk more about robberies or burglaries, that's the one I know most. If you don't steal things for over, I think it's 400 euros or something silly like that, you walk in one door and you walk out of another door. So maybe police get a bit frustrated knowing the law and what will happen to the criminal they have just caught. So they think, why bother go through all the paperwork and do everything if it's nothing is going to happen? And there are lots of little stories like that. So sometimes they can overstep their authority and hurt somebody. Maybe they've had a bad day, or they're frustrated, or things get out of hand. But I can understand when they get frustrated, because the law isn't always there to help them. Right, the next question for you.
Is your country a safe country? I think it is. Maybe some places better than others, some cities, but it is. We have a lot of different kind of police, policemen, civil guards, local police. So it's you go out at night, and normally you always see a police car, yeah, running the streets and trying to make sure that everything is running smooth and nice. So of course we have crimes here, more than we should, but I think it's not as bad as in other countries, to be honest.
Right. So, as you said, sometimes we can see a car patrolling the streets at night. So, the criminals might take note of that. Also, we have the local police, we have the national police, we have the civil guard. I don't know if I've left anyone out. The only thing I worry about that these different bodies don't work together and they don't have communication, because the local policeman has duties up to here. The national policeman has duties up to here. And sometimes there could be a gap between the different duties they have.
You're right, yeah.
But normally, I don't think we have a lot of crime. But people come here from other countries, and for whatever reason, they could bring crime with them because they used to do it in their own countries. Right, so we have times where you hear about, I don't know what would be number one, maybe drug dealers. No, drug dealers could be number one. I have no idea. But on a whole, we feel quite safe. Now, this is for you.
For me, do you think criminals can change? Well, it depends. To be honest, I think there are some kind of crimes that people commit because they are really bad people. So some of the criminal can change, okay, but some others they cannot. For example, someone who hurt a child, I don't think that the person can change, because you have to be a really bad person to do something wrong or bad to a child. People who commit murder, I don't think that they have the opportunity or the chance to be the same or be a good person again. So maybe if you are, I don't know, you do a robbery because you are in really need of something, it's different that if you commit a crime because you are really bad person. Sometimes
Right.
the commit is it's because you are insane or you have a mental issues or a mental illness, and then you need to be treated, okay? But if you are a really bad person and you commit a crime because you are a really bad person, I don't think that you can change, to be honest.
So crime is very complex and people are very complex. So it's very hard to have an answer to this, to this question. But I understand, depending on the severity of the crime, it could be easier or not to help a criminal change. Also, I think when they go to prison, it's like a breeding ground in the sense they could become worse than they actually are. So if they have not such a serious crime, for example, maybe a drug pusher, I'm going to call him, like a person that just sells because they are in need of money, and they go into prison and then they mix with other criminals, and then they are forced because they are mixing with other criminals. So it's like a breeding ground for me. Also, there's not a lot of money sometimes in the system to help them change and go in another direction. So this is a very complex question. So depending on the severity of the crime and also the mentality of the criminal, if he wants or not to change, and also if they're given facilities to do different skills so that when they come out, they can do something different. And also, if it's on the CV that they have been in prison, maybe this won't help them either. No, because people won't want to give them a second chance. Right. What do you think about this one?
Oof. To be honest, I have never met someone that shoplifting in a store, in a shop. So I don't go shopping usually, to be honest, because I hate it. So I don't know really much about this subject.
Here
So
in
I don't know if
Spain,
it's common or
I
not.
don't know, but I have seen cameras, even in the pound shop. Even in the pound shop, I see cameras everywhere. So something must go on, but I've never seen anything. And also, as I said before, when I see security guards in the supermarkets, so maybe if we investigated it on the internet, we would find out how much the shops lose every year from shoplifting. But at the top of my head, I've no idea, and I've never seen anyone do it. So I seen it when I was a child. I told you before that my acquaintances thought it was quite funny to shoplift something small, and they came out and said it, no? But I was never brave enough to do it. Right. Well, maybe this is a difficult question. What kind of people shoplift and what kinds of things do you think you steal? Well, we have no idea really. Let's hope it's people who need food for the family and they're in great need. And that's why they do shoplifting, food. Or maybe they would steal some object of clothing to sell and get the money. But we don't really know the answer to this question. So we will move on to the next one.
Does your country have a big organized crime group like the mafia? I don't really know, but I know that years ago here in Ceuta, it was the drugs and the drugs dealer was a really big problem here. So it was maybe yes, something like a mafia. It was a group of different people organized fighting between each other to get over the organization of dealing with drug here, to bring drugs from Morocco to Ceuta and passing this to the country. So, but I heard about this years ago. Now, to be honest, I don't really know, but years ago, but I'm talking about maybe 15 years or 20 years ago, there was different groups here in Ceuta dealing with drugs and managing a lot of money, but a lot. So it was time that they were fighting between each other to get control over the whole organization here in Ceuta.
Yeah. When I first came over 30 years ago, this was a subject that made me laugh a little bit, because we're talking 30 years ago, different things. And they used to say, oh, there's the boss of group 1, for example. There's the boss of group 2. And I'm thinking, wow, you know who is everybody here? Because it was smaller even then 30 years ago. And also, I suppose the controls were a lot more relaxed and things like that. And as you said, these organized groups of crime, they're normally in one area of the town and they fight between themselves. So people like you and I, we don't really come in contact with them because they stay in their area. So there is organized crime. Also, I think organized crime was affected by the COVID, and people couldn't move so easily around. So they had to change the way of working. And then in the news, sometimes we hear of organized groups who steal things from luxury houses, or we hear of another organized group of I don't know how to say it, it's just gone out of my head, when they deal with women from other countries. I know the word in Spanish, but I will have to think.
I know in Spain, but this is some...
Yes, but so it's trafficking with human beings.
Trafficking with human beings.
And also another one could be organized crime, just thinking now. Immigrants could play organized groups to help them enter into Spain, for example. So that should be another one as well, no?
Yeah.
But as you and I don't really know, because we are not close to these kind of areas. Right. Do we have any crime prevention tips?
Do you have any crime prevention tips? Well, I have alarm in my house. And well, to be honest, when I go by myself at the night, I don't used to walk by myself at night, but I have to do it. Normally I go with my dog, which is 25 kilograms. It's a big dog. So
yeah,
I
nearly
feel
bigger than you.
And it's coming with me. So nobody tried to get close to me, to be honest, when they see the dog. But not any tips, to be honest, because never happened to me anything.
Well,
anything
don't speak too
happened
loud
to me,
and
to
touch
be honest.
wood,
So
no?
I'm not really scared about walking here in Ceuta.
No, I must admit, the only prevention maybe you and I do is not to go out at night, or be careful where we go out at night. I think that is the biggest one we do, no? So we don't kind of provoke chance, no? We don't provoke chance by going out at night. But in general, I felt for over 30 years very safe here. And I've never worried. We know the areas we shouldn't go to, which are on the outskirts of the town, for example. And other than that, we don't really worry about anything. Also, I don't wear a lot of jewelry to provoke anybody. We just keep an eye on our bags, for example. But maybe I've heard, for example, my daughter has been robbed a few times going out at night.
Really?
Yes, bag snatching. Bag snatching, when she's in a place, someone snatched the bag and ran. Yes. So, or her telephone or something like that. But she's out at night. And not that is an excuse. It's not an excuse, but it has happened. Other than that, I must admit, I'm just very careful. And also, I don't take a lot of valuables on me.
No, me neither.
I don't take a lot of valuables on me. Right, the next question. Can you tell if a child or a kid will grow up to be a criminal?
Oof, difficult one. Well, I see that a child learn from what they see Okay, so if you grow up in an environment where there are so many criminals, so they teach you how to do it, probably they will grow up as a criminal,
So
because
if
it's
you
the
breathe this
environment.
atmosphere,
Yeah,
no?
it's your environment what made you to
Right.
grow up like.
Sometimes I don't know if people who investigate this think that the criminals have it in their genes. I don't know if they're thinking that, no? But we are thinking that if a child is in an atmosphere where they see others doing things or they're expected to do it, maybe they could grow up to be a criminal, no? But I don't know. We will have to read about it ourselves if it's in our genes, in our mentality. When we are born, this is maybe where they're coming from. So, Nieves, we've had a quick chat about crime. And so I hope to see you again. Toodaloo.
See you. Bye bye.